Hey guys, welcome to the fifth and penultimate part of the Legion's card rating series. Today we will take a look at Japan, and since there are only 2 new cards for each of them, also France and Italy, and rate them from 1 to 5 stars. So let's go! Alright guys, here we go, starting with the 2K bomber B7A2 Ryusei. 2-1 stats, and it has blitz, but it cannot attack the enemy HQ, so it is basically 3 credits to deal 2 damage to an enemy unit. And yeah, there is one card coming that is cancelling the effect that you cannot attack the enemy HQ, but still then it's 2 credits for 1 health bomber here. Yeah, I don't like it too much. I think I give it 1 star. I think it's really bad. Then we have the 2 credit order Dawn Operations. Your air units operate for free this turn, lose a credit slot. The effect can be really strong if you can manage to stack some big airplane units with a lot of operation costs in your support line, or if you have a Shiden, for example. So with this you can go turn 6 Shiden now, 2 times face, which is 8 damage for 6 credits and 2 cards. But you lose a credit slot. That is very heavy downside of this card. And so I think it's more of a late game card where that losing a credit slot is not doing that much, because once you are at 12 credits, it doesn't matter if you lose one, you will have 12 credits the next turn again. I think I give it 3 stars. Japan Air is not that common at the moment. I know the devs might try to push it this expansion, because there are a lot of cards that are making Japan Air a little bit stronger, but I'm not really sure how good it will be in general. Then we have the Diversion 2 credit order. Give target non-guard ground unit in a support line Smokescreen. Draw a card. Yeah, just imagine this on a KV1. Or what else could you put this on? A unit that cannot be targeted by orders, like a Panther G. And you can only kill it with orders or with effects that deal or kill random units, like Death from Above or B17. Or La Decima maybe. Might still work on this. Can be very annoying. I'm not sure how good it will be. There are some orders, we will see later here, that are synergizing with units with Smokescreen. Maybe this is a thing to do, but in general, I think it's not the most broken card ever, so I just give it 3 stars here. Then we have Rule the Skies, 2K order, that gives the enemy HQ, if it has taken 3+ damage this turn, give your air units +1 attack. So I think that +1 attack is a permanent, yeah. Yeah, I think I like this one the least of all the HQ effect cards that are coming with Legions here. I think this is way worse because it's only working in Japan Air. Yeah. I give it 1 star. I think it's really bad. Let's give it 2 stars. I'm not sure how it is in pure Japan Air deck. It can be okay or strong, but I think it's not more than 2 stars here. Then Calm Before the Storm, 3 credit order. Very interesting. I like it a lot. Give your units +3/+1, but you have to end your turn. And I'm pretty excited to see how this goes. So you spend all your credits, do this, and hope that most of your units will still live next turn. +3/+1 is really insane. So if you play this on a board with units that already have a lot of HP, like a Panzer II, for example, from Germany, and then you do this, it's suddenly a 4-4. And I think it's good enough if you put this order on 2 of them, making them 2 4-4s for 3 credits. I like it, but I'm not sure how strong it will be with end your turn, because your opponent can respond to them before you can get the value out of it with for 3k. So I'm not really sure, but I think it's at least 3 stars. Might be stronger. I might be wrong here. Maybe it's 4 or something between, but at the moment I think I go with 3 stars here. Next one. Key 43. 3 credit, 3/3 fighter. That has +2 attack on your turn if the opponent controls no air units. That's a very interesting effect. So it can be a 5/3 on your turn, as long as your opponent is not having air units, and even a 3/3 for 3 credits it's okay, it's on average. But the possibility to deal 5 damage here make this card kind of over average, but not too strong. So I give it 3.5. Then we have the card Shock Attack that was nerfed before it even came out. It was 1 credit earlier, and now it's 3 credits. When a friendly unit loses Smokescreen this turn, it gets +2/+2. Panzer II, for example, is also a Smokescreen unit. So I can already see a good Germany-Japan or Japan-Germany deck with a lot of cheap tanks like the Panzer II. Also the Stuck is having Smokescreen. A lot of cheap units that you in the first few turns stack in your support line and then pull off a shock attack and suddenly buff them all by +2/+2. So I can see why they nerfed this to 3k, because at 1k it would have been just way too strong. And also this card is no longer that broken now. I think before it would have been at least 4 or 5 stars. Now I think I go with 3.5. And 54th Infantry Regiment. 4 credits, 0 operation cost, and is having Smokescreen, so this is also benefiting from the shock attack. But 2 health is just... and it's not even having Blitz. Yeah, I doubt that this card will see a lot of play. I give it 2 stars. A very interesting card. I was really hyped when I saw this first. Redeployment, a 4 credit order with Intel 2, and you shuffle all cards in your hand into your deck and then draw that many cards +1. I really like this card. I think it makes cards like Last Rites, for example, viable in a lot more Japan decks than just Japan-France Resistance. Because now you can play Last Rites, Redeployment, and draw all your Kamikaze cards. And that can be really interesting, especially with some fighters that gives your orders additional damage, like the Kawanashi. This is a bomber, okay, and the Sayun. But I think there are also other possibilities. If your hand is just completely garbage and you don't have anything for this turn to do, you can just play Redeployment, draw 1 additional card, and maybe next turn your hand will look quite better. And the Intel 2 is also a nice little bonus on this card, so you will also reveal 2 cards in your opponent's hand. I really like it. It's not that strong. I think it's just interesting. So I go on this 2 with 3 stars here. Next one, P1Y1, Model 11, 2/3 bomber with Smokescreen. And when a friendly unit loses Smokescreen, it gets +2/+2. So this also counts for this bomber. If this bomber attacks first, it's just a 4/5 then. But as long as it's just being deployed there and sitting there in your support line, it's just 5 credit bomber for 2/3. So you better have some other Smokescreen units on board that benefit from this before it just dies the next turn. Yeah. 5 credits. I think I would prefer shock attack maybe. I mean, for 2 credit more than shock attack, you just get a 2/3 bomber here. But still 5k is a lot. And that's why I give it... I give it 2 stars. Then finally, I think it's the first infantry. No, we had this one. Second infantry. Not a single tank this expansion for Japan. 6 credits Nara Regiment. It's a 5/7 with guard, but you can ignore the text cannot attack the enemy HQ on your units. And this makes some really interesting decks possible, like, for example, do you know the Key 84 Frank? The 7/5 fighter with Fury that cannot attack enemy HQ. Suddenly it can attack the enemy HQ with this guard on the board. And then additionally you play the Dawn Operation and suddenly can deal 14 damage to opponent's HQ. Really interesting, and maybe we can build some cool and interesting OTK decks there with this one. Maybe we see a Frank meta. Yeah, really cool. I like it a lot. Probably not that strong, so not a card you put in all of your decks. Yeah, I think I have to go with 3 again. Japan, not really that many strong new cards. There wasn't a single one this expansion. Very sad, but yeah. I think Japan is still a little bit more versatile now because it has a lot of things that is pushing Japan air now. Maybe we see this. Okay, final card for Japan here is the 7 credit fighter Kika. 6/5 stats with blitz. So turn 10 you can blitz into your opponent's base with it for 6 damage. And on destruction you shuffle 4 kamikaze cards into your deck. So with last rights and this you can now have up to 12 kamikaze cards. A nice little bonus here on an already okay-ish fighter. I think the synergy is nice. If you have Shiden, if you want to do both attacks into your opponent's face, is just you have to wait till turn 11. And this one is a good one for turn 10. Turn 10, 6 damage, then turn 11, 8 damage from the Shiden. With this dice, you just get 4 more kamikaze cards with the redeployment. With this one, you can do some fancy stuff now with Japan. It's not super broken if you... It has blitz, which is really cool. I think it might be one of the better cards this expansion for Japan. So I think I go... So we have at least one of them with 4 stars here. I really like it. Also synergizing from both to the ranks. It will suddenly be a 9/8 that blitz into the enemy HQ. Yeah, let's go with 4 on this. Okay, as I said earlier, France and Italy left here, just 2 new cards for each of them. First one is the 4th Brigade, 2/5 infantry for 3k, which is okay, but it has the deployment bonus that is getting +1 attack for each non-French unit you control. I think it's an okay card, but I think nobody would put France for this alone as their ally. You usually just play Mobilize or Resistance. So this is in kind of an awkward spot here, because in which deck would you play this over other units? So it's not really helping France getting a better ally, I think. That's why I give it 2 stars. And let's go with 3. It's not too bad. If you just have 2 other units, it's a 4/5 for 3k. It's fine, but yeah, still not great. Cross of Lorraine, 9 credits, but it costs 1 less for each card in the enemy hand. Deals 3 damage to an enemy. I don't like this card at all. Even if you if your opponent is having 9 cards in hand, it's 0 credits to deal 3 damage. But I think I prefer things like Sabotage, and maybe Defend and Death is even way better than this one. Sure, the Defend and Death cannot go phase. This one can. But yeah, I don't like it too much. It's just 3 damage. And I give it 2 stars. I don't like it. Then for Italy, we have the new artillery, the Cannone DA-47. 1/3 for 1 credit deployment and operation cost. And this unit is dealt 1 damage at the end of your turn, unless you control more units than the enemy. Interesting card. 1 credit, 1/3 for an artillery is pretty strong. Plus, if you play this, for example, in an L6 deck, it's very likely that you have more units on the board than your opponent. So I think the text is not really that relevant. But it's 1 operation cost for 1 damage. I think it's okay. It's not the strongest card. It's a cool idea. So let's go with, yeah, this is the video of 3 stars here, so let's give it another 3 stars. Then we have the first countermeasure for Italy. It is Decisive Defense, 3 credits countermeasure, and this is giving you a 6th Alpini regiment when the opponent attacks your HQ, but first after he's attacking it. And this will guarantee spawn next to your HQ. So even if you already have units on board, this one will not spawn on the upper side, on the outer sides, but just directly next to your HQ, which is really cool. There are some effects that are not that intelligent, like this one. The only question is what is happening when your support line is full with 4 units. Then this is probably doing nothing. I'm not sure if it's going into nowhere or just not triggering. I think we have to find out. So you save 1 credit here, but there's always the chance that your opponent is not attacking the HQ. So I think I would always put the 6th Alpini regiment into my deck over this one. I'm not sure why you would play the countermeasure instead of this. I don't really see the need for it. Sure, you have additional options to get Alpine units. I think that's the only reason. Maybe you put Alpini regiment and Decisive Defense into your deck. Wait, I just find out. Alpini regiment. Oh, okay. I thought it was a special card, but it looks like it's a standard card. Okay. So yeah, I think it's not the greatest. So let's go with 2. That's it already. 3 nations ready here. So now only Poland is left. We will take a look at them tomorrow, when also the new expansion is finally arriving. I cannot wait any longer for this. Yeah, make sure to check out the final video where we take a look at the new Polish cards, the new ally nation. Yeah, let me know what you think about the cards that we took a look at today, and hopefully we see us tomorrow in the stream and in the next video. Bye bye.